For me, why did I only apply to and choose Yale? And for you, why did you turn down those awesome options in Ivy League schools over Stanford?
I guess I'll start.
It always takes a while to get started. Okay. Hello everyone, Arnold here, and if you're new to this channel, my name is Arnold Setiadi, and I'm a rising junior at Yale University. And in today's video, we have a very, very, very special guest. Would you like to please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Iris and I'm an incoming student at Stanford. I make a lot of videos. Some of my more popular ones have been ones on like passion project extracurriculars and how the Harvard admissions officers rate applicants. So if you're interested, go to my channel to check those videos out. Well, I'm also going to be making a college decision reveal video, which is kind of connected to this one.
It's going to be a very good video, y'all. But today, we're going to be talking about our college application experiences and why we decided to apply to and choose our respective colleges. And we'll get to why I only applied to and chose Yale, and why Iris ended up choosing Stanford over other top schools in Ivy Leagues that she was accepted to. So please stick to the end. I have a list of questions that we are both going to be answering and discussing to guide our video today. Okay, so how many colleges did you apply to and which ones? For me, it's gonna be a quick answer. I only applied to Yale, single choice, early action.
For me, I applied to 20 schools and
this is why this collaboration was much needed.
And I literally need to like pull it up to see which ones I was like deferred, rejected, accepted from. But just like off the top of my head, I was rejected from like a lot of Ivies, I guess. So like Harvard, Yale, Columbia. Yeah, so those Ivies. And I was like, let's go deferred. Or how about waitlist? I was waitlisted at Duke and Brown. And then I was accepted to Cornell, Dartmouth, Stanford, Vanderbilt, all the UCs, and like some other state schools.
What was the process of applying to colleges like? For example, was there anyone specifically who was like especially helpful in the process? Any parents, teachers, guidance counselors, yourself, any friends?
Yeah, so I actually applied to college twice. I made a video on this too, but I applied to college as a junior.
Pulling all the videos in the description, all the good videos. Good content, y'all, good content.
Yeah, so I applied as a junior in high school, and that time I was like all on my own. I had no idea what I was doing, and it didn't go too well. I got into Vanderbilt, but I decided that it wasn't the right fit for me. So I did senior year, and that time I had a, I don't want to say like consultant, but I worked with an advisor at College Vine. Dude, I've like never said this anywhere, but like she was like actually so helpful. Yeah, the entire like College Vine experience was amazing, but College Vine doesn't do it anymore because I think they ran out of money. Like I think they're broke now. Yeah, so now they're a nonprofit. But yeah, so my year was like the last year that College Vine had one-on-one advisors, and I honestly thought that was like literally so helpful because she like kept me. That's like how I was able to apply to 20 schools. She kept me on track with like this calendar and spreadsheet. It was just like very supportive. I think she just made a stressful process more easygoing and more of a fulfilling process. That's like the biggest help, is like the mental shift.
And are you using your experiences to help like other students out there who like don't have those resources? For my case, I think for the most part I was sort of on my own because my mom, she lives in Indonesia, and my dad like works full time, so I didn't really have any like parents to help me out. And also my school just changed the guidance counselors towards the end of my junior year, and since I wanted to apply early action, they really couldn't help me at the beginning of my senior year. So I was like, at that point I felt like I had to be the one who like had to like try to take action because nobody was like sort of pushing me to do it. I didn't really start thinking about the process until the very end of my sophomore year, so I had like technically like a year and a half to like figure out this multi-college thing. Good resources I used for sure were like YouTube, Google, my friends, whatever I could like consume and find out about. And once again, like I said, with like channels like ours and like yours, now students can really do use like YouTube to have like helpful advice to help them in their process, regardless of what background they're in, or if they need like additional tips, or if they want to start like from the scratch. So I think that's super useful. I also talked with my regional Yale admissions officer about the whole entire application process, but this was after I submitted my application, so that really didn't help during the process, but it was definitely useful. All right, what is your acceptance story for when you got into Stanford and Yale respectively? Well, it's not really like a grand story or anything, to be honest. I came back from either tennis or theater rehearsals, something like that. I came back from the bus. It was almost 5 p.m. and 5 p.m. was when the results for single choice early action came out. Basically, I just went to my room, put the thing on. I have like a video of my reaction, got it. I was like happy and psyched. And then at the end, I was like, I'm gonna call my mom. So I called my mom, my teacher, my brother, my dad. They were also happy. But my dad, when he got it, he was like, Yale? Okay, that's good. And then oh, all right. Like Asian parents were like, oh, okay. No, but real talk, he was like very surprised, really happy. But the next day, it was kind of overwhelming in like a positive sense, not gonna lie. Everything still like sort of felt like unreal. So I hid in the bathroom at school until the announcements came out, and they announced that, oh, Arnold got a full ride to Yale. I was like, oh shit, this is like real. I was like, I found out in the bathroom. So after the announcements end, I went to my first period class, and it was like my friends and classmates like clapping and being so supportive, and it was honestly a very good, memorable moment I had.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you?
All right, so a Stanford decision came after every single school ever, and so I legit thought I was gonna go to Berkeley or Cornell for like a full 24 hours, and so I was actually down to Dartmouth, Cornell, and Berkeley. So I called like students at all three schools to like narrow it down, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know how I'm gonna make my choice. And then like Stanford comes out, and I was like, okay, I don't even care anymore because like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go to one of these schools. And I decision and I got in. I was like, oh wait. And you can actually see my college decision video. I'm just like, oh my gosh, and then I like go like run out of my room and tell my mom, and then she's like really happy. And I don't think she knew that decision was coming out that day either, so it was just like, oh, and it was also my dad's 50th. It was kind of an easy choice for me because I wanted to be in the Bay Area and I wanted to go to a private school. Stanford was like both, so yeah.
Oh, that's a perfect segue to our next question. So why did you choose your college? For me, why did I only apply to and choose Yale? And for you, why did you turn down those awesome options in Ivy League schools over Stanford?
I guess I'll start. So I think the Ivies are like on the east. Okay, first I'm like just like a California girl like at heart, and I can't do cold weather at all. Like I literally live in Oregon, and it's not even this cold. Like we don't get that much snow, but I like literally hate it in the winter. And so I think I would have just suffered dramatically on the East Coast. As I said, like I think right now I want to go into like CS and startups and stuff like that. And so that's why I was like so highly considering Berkeley, because it's in the Bay Area. And I think Stanford is that perfect mix of being in the Bay Area, having great CS and econ departments, because that's probably what I'm going to major in. And also, another thing is the student culture. Like I've talked to students at all these schools, and Stanford just seems a lot more down to earth and fun, whereas like people on the East Coast are more like cold. Well, not like cold. Like Arnold is not cold, but like
I know what you mean, yeah.
People who are like kind of like, yeah, stressed and stuff. Overall, it came down to the weather, the departments, the location, and the people.
But for me, why I chose Yale, so I to be honest, I feel like my reasons are similar to yours, but in a parallel way. Like I'm born and raised in Connecticut for the most part, and there wasn't really like one compelling reason. But similar to you, it was like a compilation of a bunch of small different ones. Like the location, I'm from Bridgeport, and New Haven, where Yale is at, is like a 20-30 minute drive. So I've been to the campus before, and the campus is just like beautiful in my opinion. I love the trees, I love the architecture, I love everything. Also the fact that I really wanted to pursue something in like theater and political science and like maybe economics. And I just heard that Yale had like amazing programs, and there's like the Yale School of Drama, for example, and just like a lot of extracurriculars. And just the fact that when I did Bulldog Days, that went very, very well. I met a lot of cool people. Once I got accepted early, I was just kind of like, you know what? I finished the application process now. I don't got to worry about anything else. And I have a lot of friends during Bulldog Days who were choosing between Yale and Stanford. They ended up choosing Stanford, but you can't blame them, but oh well. We are now on the final question. What is one piece of advice or takeaway you have for high school students applying to their top college?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say something that I think is kind of contrarian, which is I think an advisor, like if your school, because I went to a public school that had like, I don't know, like 300-400 kids to one counselor, and so there was no way I could have like personal access to my counselor. So having somebody outside of school, like a counselor, help guide me through the process was really, really valuable. Like I know at like top private schools, like you already have that, so there's no need to like go out and try to get one yourself. But I think just from my experience, it's a lot more stress-free when you have someone like right by your side, like ready to support you with all your questions, because there's so many, and I think it's a very personalized process as well, depending on what schools you're applying to and what your profile looks like. Having that mentor is pretty valuable.
For me, on a similar note, I'd say is also to like make sure you do your research for sure, because even though there are many like colleges that can be considered like top or elite, each college for the most part has like their own unique pros and cons and quirks. And just because a college might sound like, oh, top or like elite or whatever, you really need to like ask people who go to that college and figure out, is this really like the social vibe, or do they have the departments or extracurricular groups that would favor me and favor my growth? And also try to find like the qualities and values that the colleges try to convey and sort of prioritize with the students, and maybe see like which ones fit you the best. But yeah, and like you want to really like, I guess like sort of show to the colleges why your life and your achievements and your progress has led you to this point in life to apply to the specific one. And for me, it was Yale. For Iris, it was Stanford, and 19 other colleges she applied to potentially. But yeah, all right, so that just pretty much wraps it up for this video. I'm gonna say that again. All right, so that just about wraps it up for this video. I would like to genuinely thank Iris for being such an awesome guest. Before we leave, do you have any final words, Iris? Like, where can these people find you?
Oh yeah, my YouTube channel, Iris Fu, just search it up, and my Instagram is Iris with 2 S's.fu. Maybe can you put like a screen?
Yeah, I'll put it like right over here. Like we'll edit it right here somewhere.
We're making a reveal video in collab with this video, so that's fun.
Once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.